As I've said in the title, this is the best sounding wireless headphone, but you can't bring them outdoors. Let me explain. Hello and thank you for clicking on this video where I'll be sharing my experience on Hifiman's Deva Pro. Before we begin, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Hifiman for sending this in exchange for my honest feedback. However, as always, they will have no influence over my feedback and all thoughts and opinions are my own. This is a planar magnetic headphone and this is typically a wired headphone but can be made wireless by using Hifiman's own Bluetooth dongle, which is the Bluemini R2R Dongle. So let's see if this can replace my wireless daily driver, which is the Sennheiser Momentum 4. But before we do, let's talk about accessories. If you've purchased Hifiman's headphones from recent times, you know it simply comes in a cardboard box. You've got another box inside containing the cables, which is two 3.5mm connections for the headphones, and it terminates at 3.5mm as well, but it also comes with a 6.4mm adapter, a USB to USB-C cable to be connected to the Bluemini R2R dongle, the Bluemini R2R dongle itself, and of course the Deva Pro headphones. Look at that. Oh, and it actually comes with a headphone stand in the box, which is a nice little touch by Hifiman, and you get to save money on headphone stands unless you're like me who like fake wood stands, then by all means, but this does the job. As for the headphone design itself, it's really plain, simple, and almost industrial-like with all that silver. You've got pleather, which is essentially fake leather on the headband with a lot of cushion, a mixed combination of plastic and aluminium, and with the right lighting you can see the planar magnetic driver. There's a bit of a bezel at the bottom of the cups with the Hifiman logo. There's enough length to the adjustment to fit most heads, and there's some swivel on the frame so it helps contour to the shape of your head. The ear cups are big enough to cover around your ears instead of resting on them, which means if there's any heat it won't be on your ears. The materials used on this headphone makes for a very lightweight headphone, coming in at about 360 grams, and to put things into perspective, my HE1000 V2s, which I thought was light, is 100 grams heavier than the Deva Pro, so I have no problems wearing the Deva Pro for hours, though I personally prefer the headband design of the HE1000 V2 rather than the Deva Pro. Okay, let's talk about this little big boy here, the Bluemini R2R dongle. This dongle is connected on the left side of the ear cup, which has the 3.5mm TRRS label next to it, and this little guy here is powerful enough to power a full-sized planar magnetic headphone. To put things into perspective, plugging this headphone into my Hifiman EF400, which is a full-on DAC-M desktop setup, I'm getting to about 12 to 1 o'clock on the dial on low gain. So the fact that this little dongle powers this headphone and makes it wireless is just amazing. Of course, not all Hifiman headphones can support this dongle. Also, this dongle supports up to 32-bit 96 kHz. However, that's on the wireless setting, and using the USB setting, it only supports up to 16-bit 48 kHz. So basically, you're either using this headphone via Bluetooth through the dongle or through the 3.5mm cables with the 6.4 termination connected to the dedicated DAC-M system if you want a better sound experience. If you're using it via the USB cable, you're getting the convenience but sacrificing a little on the sound performance. This dongle also has a battery life of about 6 to 7 hours, and I'm getting similar experiences depending on the volume and usability, so it's enough for a listening session around the house, but you'd have to charge it at least once more if you want to use it for the entirety of the day. However, there is one small issue I found with my particular unit. Whenever I turn it on, after it says power on and a beep, there's this static pop that occurs.
Power on. Connected.
aptX Classic.
Connected.
I'm not sure if this is common or not, but it's something to note. Whenever I'm playing music back from pausing for too long, that pop can be audibly heard as soon as the music starts. As of recording this video, I've yet to receive confirmation from Hifiman on whether this affects anything or if this is common on all dongles. If you happen to have the Bluemini R2R dongle, do share your experiences in the comment section down below, as I would love to know. Any static pop on my headphones just makes me a little uncomfortable. Unfortunately, I can't find this as a separate item on the Hifiman website website, so I'm unable to purchase another one to do some testing. So if and when I get an update on this matter, I'll provide it in the comment section down below. Just running through a few features on this dongle, pressing it for about 1 to 2 seconds turns it on and off.
Power on.
While it's on, pressing the button twice puts you in pairing mode. Pressing it once pauses or plays the music. There's even a built-in microphone, so you can use this headphone as a headset. If it runs out of battery, the headphone will give you 3 beeps a few times before it completely shuts itself off. And if you try to turn it on, it'll automatically turn off. Before I go into details about the sound, in summary, I think this headphone, especially as a wireless headphone, sounds fantastic. Just one big problem. Nope, this is not a speaker, and yes, that is how much sound the headphone leaks, which, being an open back headphone, makes sense, but it severely limits on the usability of this headphone because you simply can't bring this outdoors or commute with this unless you're willing to share whatever you're experiencing with everyone around you in public. If you're watching a movie and a particular scene plays that involves a lot of moaning, everyone's going to think you're a pervert, even though it's an action movie that you're playing. That's how much sound you're sharing with other people, which means you're sort of confined to using this headphone indoors. Or if you work alone in your own office booth with sound-treated walls or something. The Bluetooth dongle helps make this headphone's usability expand from just being confined to your desktop DAC amp, which is great in itself, but unfortunately it stays within the confines of your own home due to the sound leak, which even though it may be the main purpose of why this dongle was created, but I feel it's a little bit of a wasted opportunity for this headphone. Bring the Deva Pro into a library and you'll be kicked out before you can finish your song. Okay, now that is out of the way, let's dive deeper into how it actually sounds. For bass, especially for a planar headphone, the Deva Pro has enough slam, impact, and weight on the bass note to accompany your tracks and keep them engaging. Not the deepest sub bass, but again, there's enough for track accompaniment. However, I wouldn't say this would satisfy any bass hits, but there's enough for music enjoyment. I'm not sure if the R2R dongle is contributing to this aspect of the sound, but it's still planar bass in terms of its transient speed, but unlike planar bass, there's a bit of weight and oomph to it. Not much more I can add here, it's enjoyable. For mid-range, this, just like a lot of planar magnetic headphones I've heard, had this overall sound presentation where the vocals and the background music are on the same plane, but you still hear the vocals dead center, the instruments and accompaniments are well separated and positioned that it doesn't interfere with the vocals, but the sound is presented as a whole instead of the vocals being the highlight. So it's back to what you prefer in your sound presentation. However, the overall presentation is a little bit more forward, which makes them sound closer to you, but it doesn't make them shouty in any way. For treble, the infamous Hifiman treble peaks. There could be a possibility that I've gotten used to it, being exposed to the HE1000 V2 for so long, that it would take a very peaky treble to make me wince. So having said that, the Deva Pro is sitting on that edge of being sharp, but it doesn't reach that region, at least for me. But I would put a minor caution to treble sensitive people. Trumpets sounded airy, however, they sounded a little further away and their attack sounded a little smoothed out. For soundstage and imaging, the imaging on the Deva Pro is great. Left and right sound positions are clear and well separated, which helps in the positioning of the instruments and each having their own space. Vocals, as I mentioned earlier, stays dead center. This all lends itself into creating a space around your head, though as mentioned earlier, for how the sound is presented, it sounds closer to you rather than having a wide sense of stage. Resolution is really good for me, details sounded crisp and clear. To sum it all up, I wish I could bring this headphone outdoors. As a wireless headphone or even a headphone as its own, this is an all-rounder headphone that I thoroughly enjoyed, and it pains me that even with that wireless feature, I can only enjoy it to its maximum potential when I'm home, or when I'm in a private area when nobody is around me, which means I'm back to using my daily driver, the Sennheiser Momentum 4, for commuting and outdoor usage. And if I need a wireless headphone to use when I'm home, it doesn't get any better than Hifiman's Deva Pro. at this moment. However, as always, this is based on one man's experience. Do you have the Deva Pro, and what's your experience like with this headphone? Comment below, let me know, and with that all said, thank you to Hifiman once again for this experience, and thank you all very much for watching. Until the next experience, take care and happy listening.